Tonight's show will contain strong language. Good evening and welcome to the Monday night show. It is the 6th of April now. We have Chris with us, so thanks for coming on.
Hello mate, you alright?
Yeah, not bad, Chris. Cheers for coming on. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day at the last minute.
That's okay.
And we have James with us as always, and we have Ryan, who is muted because he is back home and his mother is desperate to come on the show, but we have rejected her because James can't stand the flirting. So we're going to go on to the first topic, James. I don't know whether to leave it to you first or for me to go AWOL or what. We're going to talk about Newcastle. 1-0 defeat to Sunderland over the weekend. I'll let you go first, James. Just give your thoughts on the day as a whole, from what you remember. Not sure how drunk you were.
Yeah. Honestly, most derbies, when we come up to them, I'm always confident. I'm not saying I think we'll win all the time, but I'm always confident we won't lose. And although Sunderland weren't fantastic, they controlled the game. And a club, not just below us in the league, but they finish below us in the league every year, or almost every year. They controlled the game, and they turn up every derby, and it just... One wonder goal won it, but if you watch the game, you'll see that more than just the wonder goal won it.
They were better than us from start to finish. I mean,
they weren't great.
No, they weren't good. I mean, they're shit. So I
we
mean,
were just that
bad. I think the most frustrating thing to start with was the fact that the pre-match interview with John Carver, and he talks about passion, he talks about work rate, about the effort that they're going to put in, players are tweeting about the effort. I'm sitting on the edge of my seat so excited about the game, and then it just collapses. We were absolutely shite. Who on earth sticks Goofan in central midfield? He's shit. You have Jonas Gutierrez, he was shit before he went on the sick, so... fair play, he's come back from a serious illness, but it doesn't make him any better. He's still shit. And it was shown during the game. He made a couple of tackles, and then he kind of got the ball and went, I don't know what to do. I'll pass it out. We spent all game playing long balls to Perez. I mean, what the heck? What's Carver thinking when he sets up to play long balls to a guy who's 2 foot tall? I mean, are we really that stupid and that fucking... deluded that we actually think Perez is going to beat anybody in the air? He wouldn't beat Jermaine Defoe for a header, let alone the freaking defenders. I mean, surely, James, watching the game, I was just banging my head against the wall for half it, just wondering what tactic we were actually trying to do.
Yeah, we couldn't even put 2 passes together. Honestly, before the game, I didn't really get a chance to see any interview or that, and after the game, I was in such a bad mood that I don't hang around watching, checking the stats or anything. They don't matter once the final whistle goes. We are short on players, and we are playing players at position like Jonas centre midfield, Callback left back, Jan Matt centre back. That's all totally wrong, but
Goofing on the pitch.
When you're stretched, you have to do that. But even though their players are out of position, that makes no difference to the amount of effort they should have put in.
There was no effort. Sissoko might as well have just left. He
was shocking. I was saying it before the game. He goes, if he's on his A game, we'll win this game. And he mattered so much. He should be controlling games like that.
At all times there has to be a player on the pitch wearing the captain's armband. There has to be a captain on the pitch. So basically, he turned up just to walk around and carry the armband because he didn't do anything else. I think our goalkeeper decides at half-time what he's going to do is get on his knees and lick Defoe's ass. Genuinely, what is going on? Chris, did you see the game?
Yeah, I saw enough of it.
Sorry, go on, Chris, what are you saying?
I saw enough of it to agree with what you guys are saying. I think it's pretty clear that the players are already considering where they're going for their holiday. They know Carver's not going to be in charge next season, so they're not really going to take anything that he says too seriously. Carver's always been pretty good at doing the media sound bites and getting on with the guys in the newspapers and giving them something great to write about. But realistically, he was never likely to be stepping up as a decent manager. They've had enough other opportunities to give him the job, and they haven't done it yet. So So it was a car crash waiting to happen, and basically Sunderland just needed that win more than Newcastle did, and therefore they went out and got it.
I mean, I know James after the match, Carver's come on and said the Derby defeat is going to define whether he gets the job or not. Fuck, sure it should. They were shit. I mean, it's not like they're going to say, "Oh, well, don't worry about that game."
Yeah, well, yeah, when we see him talking every week about passion and all this, that passion is coming from him, and just him, from his 10 years at the club. That passion is not spreading out amongst the team, bar one or two players. That's him talking from his mouth, not the players. You'll be lucky to hear 2 or 3 players talk like that about the club.
They just don't have a... I mean, Jake's saying in the comments there that Krul said to Defoe that he's a lucky shit. He shouldn't have been talking to him. He should have stormed down that pitch and gone down that tunnel and just gone absolutely mental at the team, because he is the last man, which means he stands and watches how shit everybody in front of him was. So as soon as the whistle went, he should have been going nuts at the defence, nuts at the midfield, and then actually asked Perez if he was even playing.
Well, whilst I agree, I think we're taking that a bit too serious. To me, that's the Newcastle fans looking to pin the blame on someone.
Oh, come on, James. You don't go off the pitch having a chat with the opposition.
I just said I agreed with you, but I just think they're taking that too far. There's no reason. We don't even have to talk about it. It does not matter. It didn't change the game. It didn't affect the game. It's just something that...
It showed that they're not interested in the battle of the rivalry. They're just kind of walking off counting the money.
Hey, this is Tim Krul that's been with us for 8-9 years now. He knows what it's all about.
He's getting more and more shit by the season as well.
Well, yeah.
I mean, imagine how good he's going to be in 5 years' time.
And I'll tell you what, the Newcastle defence wasn't actually that bad. The fact we managed to keep it down to 1 was okay, and the 1 goal was... Nobody in the world could have stopped that. It was there, it landed sweet. And as for Ayotze, what's he going to do when they're not playing to his strengths?
They can't. I say Ayotze didn't turn up. He wasn't in the game. But as I said, they're kicking it up to him, high balls constantly. It was just over and over again. It was getting out to Ryan Taylor, and he was just trying to pick out Perez, and he can't beat them in the air.
You've seen his reactions sometimes. His face and his hand reactions was saying, "What do you want me to do? What can I do?" I mean, Chris, and where you live, did you see an awful lot of Perez last season or the season before?
No, I've not heard. Well, no, I've not seen much of him, but he's very sort of highly rated.
He won some award recently in the league that he played in with Tenerife, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been written up as being sort of like a very hot prospect, and I think a lot of teams in Spain were quite disappointed that he's left and gone to England rather than sort of stepping up to a bigger La Liga sort of side here. But as you say, what's he supposed to do with that kind of service? At the end of the day, the guy's fantastic on the floor, and everything that was coming into him was coming in around his throat. I mean, you can be any type of player, and you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle with that sort of service.
Typical Spanish player.
We need to.
Yes and no. I think the Spanish thing is a bit of a myth. Outside of the top sort of 5 or 6 teams in La Liga, the football that gets played at the lower levels isn't all about keeping it on the deck and playing beautiful little bits and bit of football. They know how to play direct. They know how to have a big lad up front who can make the ball stick.
Probably comes from a stereotype of the way like a Messi plays. That's the way a lot of people look at the young talented guys with a bit of flair about them.
Yeah, definitely. And look, there's lots of them around, but not every single team in Spain will play everything to feet and play short, little sharp passes. A lot of it is defenders getting it as far up the field as quickly as possible, and then they go and play a little bit. But not everything is worked through the midfield and sort of patient and possession based.
We'll need a big clear out. We might sign some of them. What I was thinking, James, was obviously there's a lot of talk in the summer that we're going to have a big clear out. I don't know if Mike Ashley is going to actually spend a couple of pennies. But this is almost a Cabaye situation all over again, where I almost feel sorry for Perez and kind of hope he moves on soon so we don't destroy his career. Because Cabaye was so loved by the fans, and when he left to PSG, so many of us were kind of like, yeah, well, he's going to go off and win some trophies now, which he deserves. Um, we're going to have a clear out, James, but who are we actually going to bring in? Who's going to want to come and play for us?
Well, who knows what league we'll be in? The next 2 games are Liverpool and Tottenham. If we lose them 2 games and a lot happens to the teams below us, we're right in that mix the last 4 games, 5 games.
It's going to be tough. I mean, who can tell? We're obviously slightly frustrated after the weekend we've had. I'll just jump down the side, some of the comments. Carl says, would you take King Pardew back? God, no. But I would take. I wouldn't take Pardew back, but I would let you take. I'd let you take Carver because he's just not manager quality. He's definitely just a coach.
I mean, I would have kept Pardew, but once somebody goes, they should never come back.
Nah. QPR Benwell says, what do you guys think of QPR's chances? And do you think that we can get anything from the Villa game? I think now Vargas is out for the season, it's going to be a bit harder. I do think yous are going down, unfortunately. Yous had a good victory, but was it a one-off? I'm not too sure. Yous are a bit subject at the back. I mean, what do you think, Ryan, if you're here now?
I am here now. Everyone's gone. It's all lovely here. I think QPR are down. I've already put it in the notes that QPR are going down. They're going to struggle.
I'm going to make a bit of a prediction and say they will stay up just.
Oh, good.
That's brave.
And for the Villa game, it's Aston Villa. Anybody can take points from Aston Villa.
Who are Villa? I know Ryan's predicted Villa, QPR and Leicester to go down. So you think Burnley are going to make the escape?
Yeah,
while we're talking about predictions, I'm going for Leicester, Burnley and Hull to go down.
Hull? Outsider. What about yourself, Chris? Who do you fancy to go down?
Well, if you're looking at QPR, I don't think that there's got to be 3 worse teams than QPR for them to stay up, and I just don't think that there are.
You know that QPR have won 1 more game this season than Hull.
Yeah, but I think Hull are in there as well. So I think it's going to be QPR, Hull, and Leicester.
It's so tight with 4 points separating 19th to 15th at the minute. It's just so tight.
Yeah.
I must admit, when I saw the league table after the weekend's fixtures, I was quite surprised at how tight it was, because I genuinely thought QPR and Leicester were further adrift than they were. But I think Leicester are down. Obviously, it's not Leicester's fault. It's the referees. In case Nigel Pearson's listening, he comes and drops me. I think Burnley are going to go down. I don't want them to, but I just think they're going to fall short in the end. And I think QPR are down. But I think QPR will go to the last day of the season and they will go tits up. Man City game's just finished against Crystal Palace. Fantastic atmosphere and interesting to see Man City lose. Well done, Pardew, I guess. It was a good game. I was quite surprised at how bad City are. Once again, they played in the same 4-4-2, and it's just not working. Yaya Toure is not a central midfielder, which is just destroying them, I think. There was a few times he just dawdled himself back. But James, do you think Pellegrini's going to be going?
Yep.
There you go. One word.
For me, City, they don't mess about. I think they got rid of Mancini quite harshly, to be honest, and I don't think they're going to mess about him. It's who they're going to bring in. It's not getting rid of him. I think that's the easy part. They've got the money to pay him, so who's going to do a better job?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never a fan of Mancini, so I kind of wasn't fussed that he went. I thought he was not that good of a manager. And again, with Pellegrini, I just think they've somehow managed to get this top job. What about yourself, Chris? What can you see happening?
I think Pellegrini will be going, and I think the players are already starting to play in with that sort of thought behind them. I'm just looking at the question on the side and who the what's contributing to the downfall. Yaya Toure he's just a busted flush now. I mean, he's probably 2 years past his very, very best. He clearly isn't that bothered about being there anymore. If City can persuade Inter to pay a good sort of fee for him, then they should take the money and run. I think a lot will probably be determined on how Atletico do in La Liga this year. as to whether Simeone fancies another crack next season or whether he's going to look for a new challenge. If he's on the market, then there's got to be every chance that we're going to see.
Even with that new contract till 2020 that he just signed.
Yeah, like that does sort of make his price higher. And I genuinely, I might be being very cynical here, but I think that might be an agreed move between the board and Simeone that he's going to have a look at it at the end of the season. But if someone like City, which is probably the only place he would go to, then City have got to pay a king's ransom to be able to release him from that contract. So it's a win for Atletico as well.
I tell you what is frustrating I find with City is Navas on the wing. I mean, when you've got a guy who has so much pace, and let's be honest, he's technically not the greatest footballer. He isn't bad. He's better than I thought he was when I first saw him. But he doesn't hit that byline much, and they never really knock the ball in front of him. You'd expect him to be knocking in front of him, Ryan, and just letting him bomb on and use his pace to get past people.
They don't use him to his effect. You say he's a quick winger, get him on the wing and get him running down the wing. Man City don't play that wing play. They play very centrally. Like they want David Silva and lazy Yaya Toure to control everything. Yaya Toure isn't doing the work, so Crystal Palace took advantage of that tonight. Deservedly won.
Just looking on Saturday, Jake said Simeone loves that club. He thinks he'll stay.
I think he's just a passionate manager.
I think FIFA probably told Jake that, let's be honest. He probably doesn't know manager of poor Jake. QPR, Benwell's been on again. He said our defence is an absolute shambles with the way they give sloppy goals. With the last few games, the attackers have been exciting to watch. Fantastic goal from Zamora, Ryan.
Yeah, fantastic goal, but they go down, they're going to lose quite a lot of players, I reckon.
It's is Colker as good as everyone makes out, James? Because he's going to be another club which is going down at this rate.
Yeah, I thought he was a really good player when I initially watched him a few times. I think obviously when QPR come up, you have to invest in your defence, and they thought they were making a big signing and a young signing for the future in Colker with Rio Ferdinand along with him to play, but stuck right near the bottom. It's obviously not worked.
He should have retired as well, Rio Ferdinand. I just think he's past it, Chris.
Yeah, but I don't think Rio expected it at his age. He was going to be playing in a back three, which is what they started doing at the beginning of the season. He didn't have the players around him, and he hasn't got the legs to be able to do that anymore.
I don't think he didn't have the legs years ago to do that, I don't think, did he? Definitely a strange move to do that, especially with Richard Dunn as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's like, yeah, we've got two defenders who are past it, let's play back three. Strange. I remember there was an episode, I think it was a Match of the Day, Ryan, where they actually addressed that and they showed how Richard Dunn kept having to pull off to the halfway line with the ball and stuff, and he just looked so uncomfortable.
Yeah, and they're not ball players. Both of them. Rio Ferdinand was never really a ball player. He's just a get in the tackle player, but both of them are now past it. They'll both probably leave if they go down, and then they'll need another two centre defenders in the summer.
I mean, Chris, QPR, Benwell saying there, Colker's an absolute letdown. I mean, it must be disappointing. I mean, Newcastle never spent the money, so I don't know. But it must be disappointing to spend big money on a defender, young prospect, and he just kind of flops, if a defender can flop.
Yeah, it was a surprise. I was amazed that Spurs let him go. That was what 3 or 4 years ago now, maybe not as long as that. But his career's absolutely stalled. So it looked like Spurs actually got the call right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think if you look at the teams that get promoted, those that keep faith in their back four tend to do better. I think Leicester are now probably proving me completely wrong. But if you keep your back four that are used to playing together, rather than making big signings in the back, you tend to do better. I don't know if there's any evidence to back that up, but it's just the way I feel about it.
I think when you look at Burnley, they signed a player like George Boyd. They signed, who's he's a hard worker, but he's also quite skillful. Yeah. They've done well because they have stuck with basically the same team. Then added a player like that who's quite skillful, but they know he's going to still work hard for the team.
Yeah, definitely, and it's. I mean, I played at the back all my life when I was playing, and there is nothing better playing at the back than knowing what the guy next to you is going to do. And if you're constantly changing your defenders and changing your system, then that is just a nightmare. And it's an old cliche, but the best teams tend to build from the back. If you look at the United sides, they always knew what their back four was going to be. And if you look at the Chelsea sides, it's always been built on a good solid back four and go from there.
It's unbelievable, this Ryan. Do you know what, Ryan? I constantly build from the back, and he constantly criticises me. Now he's saying it's the way to go.
You build from the back and don't stop building from the back.
Oh.
Yeah. Once you've got the back four sorted, you are supposed to then think about how you're going to score some goals.
Oh, damn it. Forgot about that. Just quickly, Ryan, QPR Ben was asking, has there been a standout player for you this season? And if so, who?
I'm going to pick someone from outside of the Premiership. I've been watching Alex Mowat for Leeds all season, and he's been fantastic. I reckon Premiership club will probably be sniffing around in the summer. Young prospect. Hopefully he doesn't flop. But he's been impressing me this season.
That's fantastic. I think. What about you, James? I haven't going yet. I'm thinking.
I'm going for Yotze Perez. I'm not trying not to be biased, but 1.8 million for an unknown player that has played the way he's done and scored some very important goals. Definitely value for money, and he'll be sold for big bucks eventually. He's been a great addition to the league.
I think mine's going to have to be someone like Falcao. I think I'm going to say Wayne Rooney, because year in year out this guy gets criticised and gets told he's not good enough, gets told he's getting old, gets told he's not going to do well, and he's still doing it week in week out. He gets put in midfield and he looks like a natural midfielder. He moves back up front and he just bangs him in for fun. Just an all-round player, and again scoring fantastic goals. I just think he's the guy who's impressed me this season, stood out above everybody, because wherever he gets put, he performs to the best of his ability. And he doesn't look like Gouffran does in central midfield, for example, just confused and lost. He actually looks like he belongs there. What about yourself, Chris?
I'm an old romantic, and then I think the Harry Kane story is absolutely brilliant. He's not the best player that England's ever going to produce, but to be fair to him, he started off the season as just the Europa League and League Cup striker, and now he's banging in goals left, right, and centre. And to come off the bench and score with your third touch on your England debut, the guy's having the season that he can only dream of, and we'll find out if he can keep it up. But what a story for the kid.
Yeah, he is. He's having a good season. Talking about Harry Kane, I was watching English TV over the weekend, Ryan, and Thierry Henry, this guy, what a commentator this guy is, a presenter. He basically said, "Yep, he's having a good season, but let's see if he can do next year." Then he went on to the likes of Charlie Austin and stuff and said, "Yeah, but could they do it at a bigger club?" He literally just kind of questioned everybody who's having a good season.
Oh, is exactly right. If you can do it for one season, you've got to carry it on. You can't just be a one-season wonder.
The thing is, when someone like Thierry Henry stood there saying it, I was just sat there going, "Yeah, I agree, Thierry. Yep, you're right. Yep, I'm sorry for ever doubting it." It was awesome to listen to, because he did not hold back. He was just like, "No, see if he comes back next year and does it." Just quickly on the side, QPR, again, cheers listening, pal. You're throwing the comments at us tonight. Alex Moore has been awesome this season. He has to agree with you, Ryan, there. In the last few years, QPR have spent so much money on old players. Harry Redknapp's got an obsession. It's been noted, hasn't it, James, for a while now, that Harry Redknapp, he might be that bargain basement guy. Don't tell him I said that, he'll go mental. I also remember the interview he did where someone called him a wheeler dealer. But he might wheel and deal, but then he gives them $100,000 a week. James, that's the issue.
Yeah, part of it, I think, is he likes to sign his pals. He likes to sign his mates in football. Footballers, if you're my pal and you've been with me before, I'll take you on again.
What is it, Nico Crenshaw?
I'll give you $100,000 a week. Don't worry, I'm not paying.
It's pretty much what it is. So I mean, he does get some good free transfers, but like
Yeah,
you said,
then he hangs out his car on deadline day. Oh, he's amazing. He'll bring me 40 goals a season. Blah blah blah. Talk shite.
well, I think it's all been revealed tonight. James doesn't like Harry Redknapp.
No, I don't like QPR.
Oh, alright then. Just plain and simple. Jake said, look at Benteke, he's had one good season. It's a good point. I think he's still young, so we'll give Benteke a break. He's still developing, but yeah, he came in.
He's also had a major injury as well that he's coming
Yeah.
back from.
Came back, exploded on the scene, struggled this year, but you never know how he's going to improve. The Championship, Chris, who do you think is going to go up?
Oh, God, I hope it's Bournemouth. I think Eddie Howe's one of the best young managers in England, and the football he's got them playing on the resources that he's got is absolutely out of this world. But it is so tight to call. I was watching Wolves Leeds tonight, and again, the tables are always changing. Middlesbrough went really well, and now they're dropping short. So I think I'm gonna say Bournemouth are gonna win the league, but it could be anyone else that goes up with them.
I think I watched the Watford game today against Middlesbrough. Watford were fantastic.
Yeah, again, another really good side, but capable of being beaten themselves. Look at Derby. I mean, I think at the start of the season, everyone would have said, yeah, Derby, they're definitely going to be there or thereabouts, and they were for so long, and they've had just not even a big bad run, but just a mini bad run, and they're now off the pace, but could well get back in it by the end of the season. It's an absolutely incredible league.
And what about yourself, Ryan? I know you've got Norwich and Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think it will be them too. I think Norwich are picking up form now. They're playing good football, and Bournemouth is just a wonderful story. I'd love to see them in the Premier League.
Who's going to win the playoffs? Brentford?
Ooh, I couldn't pick. That's why I haven't put the playoffs in for each division, because I could not decide.
It'd be amazing if Brentford went up, though. Imagine Bournemouth and Brentford going up. Newcastle would actually get some points next year. Oh, it's another upset for us to have to put up with. What about yourself, James? Who do you think's going to go up?
I think Bournemouth will go up, and I hope they do, because, like Chris said, I'm a big Eddie Howe fan. I want Borough to come up because I want another derby, and initially I thought Derby will come up, but I'm going to go for a surprise package and say Wolves will win the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I'll tell you what, man, James, you just said there you want another derby. If we show the passion we did at the weekend, there's another freaking hammering. Middlesbrough have actually looked good this year, and for the same reason you said, I would like them to come up just for that bit of localness, even if they are just a small club in Yorkshire. Bournemouth, I think, will go up. I think Norwich are going to slip up. I can see Brentford somehow getting in that top two.
In the top two?
Yeah, I can see Brentford just putting a few results together while the other teams bottle it in the last few games. You never know. I'll just quickly jump down the side. Which ones did I miss? It's Lee's listening. He said, not sure if you saw him question earlier, but who do you think the main contributing downfall is? Yeah, we answered it.
Yaya Toure.
Yaya Toure basically was unanimous. QPR is asking, do we think referees should have help from videos and stuff? Just quickly, Chris.
Yeah, I do. I think it can be done in a way that actually doesn't disrupt the game too much, and there's too much at stake nowadays for it to keep being got wrong.
I'm still on the fence. I can't answer it because I do, but I don't. I don't want it to ruin football. I think you lads have said before, and you, Ryan, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, as long as it keeps the game flowing, you don't have to stop for 5 minutes and look at a video. If it keeps the game flowing and we're stopping for 30 seconds, then fair enough.
Yeah. Colin's listening. Evening, pal. Who are local smaller teams that you guys follow? Local? Oh, man, we've got a stalker. If I tell you my local team, you'll then know where I live. It's got to be Torrevieja, hasn't it, Chris? If I say anyone else, you'll come and find me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely Torrevieja for the local side.
Do you all want them to go up so you can call them? And Jake said he likes Gateshead. League One. I think Ryan's put Bristol, Preston to go up, and then Yeovil, Colchester, Crewe, and Crawley to go down. Just quickly, actually, the Championship, it's looking more and more like Wigan are going to go down only a couple of years after winning the FA Cup, James.
Yeah, it's shocking. I mean, and we've also the sacked Malky Mackay today. And we've also got to mention that Blackpool are saying goodbye to the Championship as well.
It's a sad story, the Blackpool story. Hopefully they can bounce back up. You never know, but I've got a feeling they're going to be back down again. They're going to do a Yeovil and do two drops in a row.
Do a Tranmere.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Niall Ranger might be released from prison to play next season.
No, that's all right then.
Poor them.
Yeah, they'll do well. At least he'll be on the back page a lot. Sorry, I mean the front page. But on the League One there, you've got Bristol. Ryan's put Bristol and Preston go. Bristol are a nice story because obviously they're now owned by people who own a lot of different sporting clubs within Bristol. And it definitely seems to be something good is being built in Bristol at the minute, Chris.
Yeah, I mean it's a big city that needs a club at a higher level than the two are at the minute. It looks like probably both Bristol clubs will get promoted this season.
A sad one that Ryan's put down he thinks is going to go down is Crewe Alexandra. Obviously a club with a lot of history for developing players, so it's sad to see them possibly playing in League 2, but I know they're trying the hardest not to buy anyone at the minute. They're purposely just developing youth just for financial reasons. I mean, for a club which has developed so many good players, how can they be struggling financially and not be able to strengthen the team when needed, James? Surely there's something strange to develop so many players and not have the money to build your squad.
Yeah, I mean, they've obviously just not had the financial backing or somebody to invest, and they've had Dario Gradi there for about 25 years or something now, and they basically rely on him to bring through the good youth and just chuck them in at the deep end.
And it obviously works in the sense of developing players, but the issue is obviously they're struggling in League One this year, so maybe only one or two of them are good enough. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Crewe. They might go straight back up if they do go down. League 2, Ryan has put that he thinks Tranmere are going to go down.
Yeah, back to back. They were in League 1 last year and they're struggling again this year. I reckon they're going straight back down again.
And also Cheltenham, who've just appointed that person as manager. My mind's gone blank. Go on, James, help me.
I missed what you were talking about.
I bet you did.
I'm going to research now.
Gary Johnson.
Yeah.
That one, yeah.
There we go. Cheltenham have just appointed Gary Johnson. I think that's going to be their saving grace, Ryan. I know you've got them down as going down this year.
Yeah, who knows? He may keep them up, but I just can't see it. But who knows? The leagues are very close. It was very hard to pick, so I may be completely wrong.
Most likely. We're going to talk about Raheem Sterling now, Chris. Now, the first thing I want to say about this before I go to yourself is the second part that Ryan has mentioned is he gave an unsanctioned interview. Now, I actually don't have an issue with that. As far as I'm concerned, if they come and say, "Oh, do you mind doing an interview?" Why can't he do an interview? I mean, it's not like he's gone on there and just like gave away loads of club secrets. But also, I think the way he's come across in the press, to the way the interview sounded to myself, I don't think he came across that bad. He turned around and said, "I want to do what's best for my career. I want to win trophies. It's not about the money. I want to be successful." He kept saying he wants to be successful, which basically means if Liverpool don't get in the Champions League or Liverpool are struggling, he wants to leave. Why can't he leave, Chris? He's not like a die-hard Liverpool fan. He's just doing this as a job, could we even say. So if he wants to go and win trophies, why not?
Yeah, I think there's more to it than just that. The stuff that I've heard is more along the lines of, well, put it this way: Sturridge is on 150k a week, Sterling's on 35k a week at the minute. Now, is there really 115 grand's difference between the two of them? Sturridge spends most of his time on the physio's table. Sterling rarely misses a game. All right, he's had some unfortunate media incidents this year, especially with the whole "I was tired" sort of thing, which actually again shows me that he's a guy who's managing his career quite sensibly. He knows when to push it and when to not. It's just this whole thing, isn't it, that everyone expects all the players to be massively loyal to every single club, and they should never want to go anywhere else or try to better themselves or improve. At the end of the day, if Sterling's not doing the business, then Rodgers will ship him out straight away anyway, so there's no loyalty in return. I think he's got a point. I think he should be sitting out and seeing what might be coming his way in the future. He's a very, very, very talented player with the world at his feet. Realistically, if he wants to win something, he's got to see Liverpool potentially winning silverware, big silverware in the next 4 seasons. He's probably being realistic and saying, I don't think that's going to happen. So there's going to be somebody out there that's going to pay him what he wants and also have a better chance of silverware, just as long as he doesn't go to City.
It's true though, and I mean, I don't know about yourself, James, but the Liverpool fans have absolutely bombarded this kid, and they're telling him about loyalty. Now, I'm sorry, but within 2 seconds they've pounced on him, so maybe they should be turning it on themselves and thinking about loyalty.
Well, I think they had made up their mind before they even had the interview. Nobody knows what a professional footballer's lifestyle or personal life is about. Maybe he's doing it just to earn all the money for his career. Maybe he just wants to be successful. But doesn't every footballer, as you say, if he's not a Liverpool fan, what's he got to worry about?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one thing I noticed, Ryan, at a point in the interview, they said, would you sign this deal if it was on the table last year? Liverpool were on course to possibly win the Premier League, to which he turned around and go, yeah, I probably would have signed it, for less money as well. Because obviously there was less money offered. I don't understand what some people listen to on the interview, because when I listened to it and then read the comments on Twitter and Facebook from people, he always kept saying, coming across that it's about trophies, it's not about money, it's about trophies. So to which they took it as he wants more money. What?
It's the way that the media put it across. So he's turned down $100 a week, therefore he wants a bigger contract, therefore he's a money grabber. It's the way the media try and turn it around. He comes out saying it's not about the money. Fans aren't going to believe it because the media have got there first and told about the $100 that he's turned down.
It's
equally, if it is about the money, so what? If somebody else in your team is earning that much more than you, and you think you're as good as them, and your contract's coming up, and the club are talking to you about a new contract, what's wrong with pushing for sort of an equal wage?
Yeah, it's I think it's frustrating the way it's been handled, because I kind of feel sorry for him, because he in my opinion, he's come out and kind of said what anyone who's very passionate about just playing football would be. I haven't signed a new contract. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with the club because I want to win trophies. What's wrong with that? I mean, and then the Liverpool fans have literally pounced on him, burning shirts, abusing him. So they can't go on about loyalty, because if he now signs a contract, they'll be on their knees again. And then it's like, well, you burned your shirt last week. So
they've burnt shirts before, so.
Oh, it's honestly, it's so stupid. Jake said Liverpool contract situation is strange. Gerrard said he would have signed a new deal as well if they'd offered him it earlier. And he's saying he feels Henderson feels same. Yeah, Henderson's only got a year left on his contract. If I was Henderson, I'd be saying to them, where the hell's my contract? I don't understand what's going on. I'm tipped to be the captain next year, and you've let my contract run out. Mike Wooten is listening. He said Colchester are going to stay up. How dare you? Blame Ryan. You can contact him at ryan@hotmail.com. Lee said he missed it. You can always listen back, Lee. It's going to be on YouTube. And he said he's been lifelong Halifax Town. He drew Lincoln 1-1 today. We needed a win, but drew 2 times. We don't have a chance now of the playoffs. At least you're not going down. But now, Ryan, we're just going to talk quickly about the football conference. It's going to be now named the National League. And the competition's got a new 3-year TV deal, which is fantastic for them, with BT Sport. They're actually going to have their own TV channel or something. Does that mean they're going to have a channel called BT Sport National League, Ryan, or do you know or not?
I'm not sure. I tried to have a look quickly today, but I know they're going to have games shown on BT Sport, but I do believe there's going to be a channel that I have. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the internet or an actual...
So maybe like Like the FA have the channel for the FA Cup matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. The current sponsors, Vanarama, will continue to lead their name to the competition. Under the changes, the fifth tier of English football, currently the Conference Premier, will officially become the Vanarama National League. The two divisions in the sixth, the Conference North and South, will be renamed the Vanarama National League North and the Vanarama National League South. James, are you excited?
Oh.
Brilliant. Chris, it's obviously going to be beneficial, the TV money and stuff for the clubs, their own TV channel. Now the championship is watched around the world. Is the Vanarama National League going to be watched around the world?
There's only so many times you can repaint the toilet door. It's just not. It's not going to make any difference at all. Yeah, the TV money will be great to keep the clubs in business, but it's not going to improve it's not going to improve it dramatically or anything. The only clubs that are going to do well in the conference are the clubs that have been doing well in the conference by getting people in with money that want to turn them into a league club. That league is now a graveyard of ex-football league clubs that don't have the money and don't have somebody willing to drive the club back up again, and have been mismanaged in the old style for many years. And the clubs who are being run properly in a more progressive way are getting out of that division as quickly as possible. Which
I think the Graveyard Club, I think the prime example is Stockport County.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a Luton Town fan if I think about who I support back home, and we got stuck in there for 8 years. And
it's a tough league to get out of.
It's a very tough league to get out of because there are so many perceived to be big clubs in there. Actually, it's not the big clubs in there that you need to be thinking of, although Bristol Rovers are kind of going against the grain this year. It's the young, ambitious clubs with less history and therefore less of a burden that are managing to get out there quite quickly. Look at Crawley, look at Fleetwood and teams like that.
Yeah, all had backing as well.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got 3 minutes left of the show. I'm going to shock the world. We are going to skip the next topic, and I'm going to talk about one fallen giant. Just for Ryan. Just for Ryan. After 5 weeks of this topic being labelled. The fallen giant I'm going to mention, James, is Leeds United. They were phenomenally, thanks Ryan, successful in the 60s and 70s. League titles, FA Cups, 5 European Cup finals. After an erratic 80s, they were English champions again in 1992, just before the Premier League started. Continental powerhouse in the 2000s, spending money under David O'Leary. They had the likes Harry Kewell, Alan Smith, Paul Robinson. Since crashing out of the Premier League in 2004, a financial meltdown triggered by Chairman Peter Ridsdale's unsustainable desire to live the dream, James. Are Leeds on the way back up?
Not yet. I think they are going to be in the Championship for a few years yet because they can't make up their mind what's going on, who's in charge of the board, who's going to take control. It's like you have a bad 5-6 game run. They want a new manager. They can't settle. I mean, it's just appeared on the timeline that Neil Redfern will finish the season and then he'll leave, and they just have no stability at the moment at all. And they were a fantastic team. I just loved watching back in the 2000s.
Yeah, I think when they had the likes Harry Kewell, Alan Smith, Paul Robinson, Mark Viduka. Mark Viduka was amazing when he was at Leeds. The footwork and the movement.
Jonathan Woodgate could have been world class.
Yeah, Jonathan Woodgate. They had Rio Ferdinand, don't forget. They had some really good talent, and they spent some money, didn't they? Yeah. Robbie Fowler, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Eric Cantona played for them. There's been some big names, Chris, go through them doors of Leeds United.
Yeah, I actually today bizarrely watched The Damned United, which was about Brian Clough, sort of 40 odd days in charge back in the 70s. It is a club that's always been sort of up there, but they've got an absolute madman running the show now, even though he's legally not allowed to be running the show.
Just want to say that.
And until they sort that out, they're going nowhere.
Gets told he can't own the club, but kind of turns around and goes, well, I'm going to anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And James is right. You need stability. They're not going to get that with that guy in charge. So therefore, unfortunately, the Leeds fans are going to have sort of many more years of wishing what could be.
Yep. Just going to end the show by jumping onto the comments on the side. Jake said the conference changes its name every season. Can't call it the conference now, Jake. Sorry. After watching conference football each week, I don't agree with that. It's such a tough league. Halifax Town went bust years ago, and we had to come back and play in all the basement leagues we got from over 4 times 5 years ago, where we are now. So I don't know which bit you not agree with.
I think it's something you said.
Shush. Probably the toilet door comment.
I think it's the likes if you're fortunate enough to be brought through your life supporting a big team or certainly a championship or Premier League team, the chances are that you're not going to have an interest in the lower leagues football. Us being football manager gamers, we like to be involved in that sort of thing, but as for real life, apart from Gateshead and Blythe, I take no interest in any lower league football.
Did you just call us fortunate, James? We sit there depressed every weekend.
Well, yeah, but we could support, I don't know, Chesterfield or something.
Oh God.
Could support Coventry. That's depressing.
It's true. It's true. The Football League changed its name pretty often, to be fair. I think Cole thinks it's a good thing. I mean, it's only going to bring attention to the league, isn't it, at the end of the day, which is a good thing. With the very very soon confirmed arrival of FC United and Manchester into the leagues as well. I think it's 99% nailed on. They're going to be there next season. I'm sure they're only 3 points away. I'm not sure on the result today. But I think it's only going to build the reputation of the leagues, because obviously they get fans week in, week out going. People follow them from around the world. So it's definitely going to help the reputation of the league. If the likes of Tranmere go down, Ryan, that's a big club dropping down as well. Are they going to be like Stockport County and drop again, just kind of languish down there?
Who knows, but clubs can rebuild. Someone can come in and buy them, rebuild them back up. It can happen.
It can happen. Probably won't, but it can happen. Well, we're done. Thanks for coming on, Chris. Really appreciate it.
No worries, guys. Thank you.
And we will see you all on Thursday night. Cheers, lads.
Cheers.